The trial hall of Mistvale Pack had been awake since dusk. Torches flickered against the stone walls, trembling as if the air itself was afraid. Tonight was a night of judgment, a night that could change the future of the entire pack, and at the center of it all stood a girl the world believed to be wolf-less. Her name was Arya Hale. Arya was never the shining one, not in festival dances, not in pack feasts, not in power or status. Where warriors dominated the training grounds and noble daughters bathed in attention, Arya always stood in the shadows, quiet, invisible, forgotten. Her wolf had never surfaced, not once, so the pack labeled her broken, defected, and a shame. But tonight she was being forced to prove whether she even had a wolf at all. If she didn't, her punishment was exile or death. Scene 1. The accusation. The High Council Hall was circular, surrounded by tall stone pillars. At its center stood a raised platform fitted with iron chains. Arya's wrists and ankles were bound to it, metal biting into her skin. Voices echoed around hers. She's lying. She crossed the First Prince's territory without permission. She's a danger to the pack. She's wolf-less. She's not one of us. Arya stood still, the accusation slicing into her like cold steel. But the loudest voice came from only one person. Alpha Kyle Rowan. The future Alpha of Mistvale. A man whose presence alone stole the breath from anyone near him. Not because of beauty, though he had plenty, but because he carried the raw, untamed dominance of a storm. Dark midnight blue eyes. Tall, broad shoulders. A gaze sharp enough to pin someone to the wall. Tonight, that gaze was fixed on Arya. Suspicion, irritation, something darker. Arya Hale, Kale said, voice like ice carving through silence. You stand accused of breaking pack laws. You say you meant no harm, then prove it. Arya's voice trembled, but she kept her spine straight. I never meant to cross the border. I was just lost. I didn't hurt anyone. Then shift and show us your wolf, the council head declared. A hush fell over the chamber. Arya froze. Shift. Now. In front of everyone. Her heartbeat pounded like a war drum. Scene 2. The humiliation. She closed her eyes, reached inward, desperate for even the faintest spark of a wolf. Nothing. She tried again. Still nothing. Laughter erupted.
See? Useless. She's human.
Not worthy of the pack. Arya felt the humiliation burn down her spine like liquid fire. Kale's gaze hardened as he watched her. Enough, he said coldly. If you cannot shift, you leave the pack by dawn. Arya's knees threatened to give out. She had no family left, no home except these walls. Mistvale was everything she had ever known. Please, she whispered. I don't have anywhere else to go. But mercy was not a word the council used. The chains tightened around her wrists. Last chance, Arya Hale, they said. Scene 3, the breaking point. Pain shot up her arms, but none of it compared to the pain of being unwanted her entire life. She remembered a memory, one she tried so hard to forget. Her mother, right before she died, whispered in a weak breath, never reveal who you truly are, not until the world gives you no choice. And tonight, the world had given her no choice. Something inside Arya snapped, like a door unlocking after years of being bolted shut. The air changed. Torches flickered violently. The ground vibrated. Warriors shifted uneasily. Kale's instincts roared. He stepped closer, eyes narrowing. Something's happening. He murmured to his beta. But it was too late. Scene 4, the emergence of the White Luna. Arya's eyes flew open, no longer their usual soft gray. They glowed, a bright, unnatural liquid silver. Her chains rattled violently as her body trembled. Her pulse thundered like a trapped beast trying to break free. And then, a burst of power exploded from her. A shockwave rippled across the hall. Metal chains snapped like threads. The platform cracked beneath her feet. Gasps filled the room. Arya's body began to shift violently, beautifully, painfully. Her bones reshaped, her skin glowed. Her aura surged like a rising moon. Not the shift of an ordinary wolf, no. When she landed on all fours, a stunned silence fell. Standing before them was a wolf as white as untouched snow. Her fur shimmered under torchlight. Her eyes glowed silver like twin moons. A power radiated from her that made even warriors step back. Someone whispered, "What a white wolf." "No, they're extinct. A white Luna, that's a sacred sign. They're born once in centuries, destined for the Alpha King." And then, every wolf in the hall, every warrior, every elder, every council member bowed, because no matter the rank, no matter the pride, a white Luna was royalty, a chosen one of the moon goddess. Alpha Kale stood frozen, breath ripped from his lungs. His wolf surged inside him, louder than ever, whispering one word, "Mate." Cal's jaw clenched, chest rising sharply. He stared at the white wolf. And she, Arya, the girl he once dismissed, the girl the pack mocked, the girl who was supposed to be wolf-less. She lifted her head and growled directly at him, a warning, a challenge, a declaration. The hunted girl was now the most powerful creature in the realm. Part 2. The White Luna claims her place. The hall remained frozen in silence. Even the torches seemed to bow in reverence to the glowing white wolf in their midst. Arya's fur shimmered like liquid silver under the torchlight, every muscle taut, every movement deliberate. Alpha Kal Rowan felt a pull inside him, an instinct older than the pack, older than the mountains surrounding Mistvale. His wolf word confused and enthralled at once. He had never encountered a power like this. Not from the legends. Not from the strongest warriors. Not from any wolf he had ever known. "Step forward," Kale said slowly, voice deep and commanding, yet carrying a tremor he did not recognize. He had to see her, to feel her, to confirm what his senses screamed. Aria's silver eyes locked onto his. No fear remained, only power, pride, and the quiet assurance of one who had just claimed her destiny. She stepped down from the platform, each pawfall firm and graceful. Every step echoed through the hall like a drumbeat, commanding the attention of every wolf present. The pack shifted instinctively, a low murmur traveling through the crowd. Some tried to hide fear, some awe, but all bowed in respect. They had never seen such a presence. Not even Cal's own closest warriors had ever radiated this much strength. Who is she?" whispered one beta. "She is the Luna," another answered, voice trembling. Cal took a slow step forward, his wolf instinct pulling him, demanding he mark her as his. He could feel her essence, the purity, the strength, the wild independence. It was like staring at the sun itself, impossible to ignore, impossible to resist. Aria stopped just a few feet away from him, her gaze unwavering. Then, in a voice that resonated both in her human mind and wolf's, she spoke. "I am no one's shadow. I am the White Luna of Mistvale, and I will not bow unless I choose to." A murmur swept the hall. Even Cale's most loyal pack member stiffened. This girl, the one they thought weak and ordinary, had just spoken with the authority of a queen. Cale's wolf growled low in his chest, a warning and an invitation at once. He stepped closer. "Then prove it," he whispered. "Prove that you are mine." Aria tilted her head, silver eyes narrowing. "You do not own me, Alpha Rowan. Not yet, and the pack will bow, but I will choose who I stand beside." The tension in the hall thickened, almost tangible, as if the stone walls themselves were holding their breath. Cale could feel her power coursing through the room like wildfire, every wolf instinctively bowing to her, even those who had doubted her mere moments ago. The white wolf let out a low, melodic growl, reverberating through the hall. It was not a threat, it was a declaration. She was here, she was whole, and she was unbroken. Kyle's gaze softened slightly, his jaw tightening. Something deep in his chest stirred, a pull he had never felt for any Luna before. He had expected obedience, respect, fear, but this was raw magnetism, a force that dared him to step back and step closer at the same time. Before he could say anything more, the council head, trembling, raised a hand. This is unprecedented. A White Luna alive after centuries. Miss Vale will follow her guidance. Alpha Rowan. Kyle's eyes remained locked on Aria. "Do not command me, nor the pack," he said quietly, his voice cutting through the murmurs. "You have just claimed your power. And I," his wolf growled, "I will learn what it means to share it with you." Aria's ears twitched. She felt it, the promise of something dangerous, thrilling, consuming. Alpha Cale Rowan, the strongest, the most feared wolf in Mistvale, was curious. And more dangerously, he was intrigued. The hall slowly began to settle, though the air still thrummed with the aftershock of Aria's transformation. The pack had witnessed a miracle, and the legends of the White Luna were no longer just stories. But while the pack bowed in awe and fear, Aria's eyes remained on Kel. Not out of fear, not out of submission, but because something in her recognized the storm in him. And she was not afraid to face it. This was the beginning. The night when the White Luna emerged, the pack recognized her power, and Cale Rowan realized that his life and his heart would never be the same. Part 3: The Alpha and His White Luna. The torches flickered as whispers rippled through the hall. Even the bravest warriors dared not meet Aria's silver gaze. Her presence commanded silence, awe, and fear all at once. Cale Rowan stood at the center, barely breathing. He had faced rival packs, wild storms, and rogue beasts, and yet this white wolf struck him like lightning to the chest. Something ancient and primal had awakened in him the moment she revealed herself. He stepped closer, each movement deliberate, slow, testing, commanding. "Aria, hail," he said, voice low and velveted with authority. "You have power no one has seen in centuries. Mistvale bows to you. And yet," he paused, "I want to know if you will stand beside me willingly, or will this power consume you before I can claim it?" Aria's silver eyes glimmered in the torchlight. "Power is nothing without control," she said, voice strong, fearless. "I am not yours to command, Cale Rowan. I am the White Luna of Mistvale, and I choose when and how to stand." Cale's wolf growled softly in his chest, uneasy, eager, and enthralled all at once. Her defiance was intoxicating. Her aura challenged him in a way no Luna ever had. The hall remained tense. Even the council, experienced and wise, watched silently, their mouths slightly agape. None of them had ever witnessed a bond like this, the raw tension between the Alpha and the White Luna. Then a shadow moved at the edge of the hall. A rival pack messenger had arrived, daring to challenge Mistvale's strength. "Alpha Rowan," the young wolf hissed, fear barely masking his arrogance. "We hear the Luna has emerged. We come to see if Mistvale is still strong or weak." The council murmured uneasily. Rival packs had always feared the Alpha, but a White Luna. She was a force that could turn the tide of generations. Cale's eyes narrowed. "This Luna is Mistvale's," he said, tone low, lethal. "And anyone who challenges us will learn what it means to face both Alpha and Luna." Aria stepped forward, her snow, white fur glowing with anticipation. She raised her head, and the rival pack froze. Her eyes were not just silver, they burned with power, control, and authority. A moment passed thick with tension before she let out a single, melodic growl. It was not aggressive, it was a declaration. This is my pack. This is my alpha, and I will defend both. The rival pack faltered. Instinctively bowing to the dominance of a Luna they could barely comprehend, Kale felt his chest tighten as his wolf recognized what he had longed for, unknowingly, all his life. He stepped to Aria's side. Your place is beside me, he whispered, almost to himself, but loud enough for her wolf to hear, and your fight is my fight. Aria's gaze softened, just for a fraction of a second. Not out of submission, not out of fear, but because she felt the pull between them, raw, undeniable, and faded. The rival pack retreated silently, leaving Miss Vale standing taller, stronger, and more united than ever before. Every wolf in the hall had bowed to her once, but now they watched silently as Kale and Aria stood together. A spark had ignited. Not just a bond between Alpha and Luna, but something deeper, older, and far more dangerous. Something that neither of them fully understood yet, but both would follow, willingly or not. Cal's voice broke the silence. You are mine, Aria Hale, not because I demand it, not because the pack bows, but because your power, your soul, it has chosen me as I have chosen you. Aria's silver eyes glimmered with a mixture of curiosity and defiance. I will not bend, she whispered. Not yet. Kale smiled, a dangerous, predatory smile that promised storms and fire. Then I will wait, he said, and when you are ready I will claim what is mine. The hall was silent, every wolf frozen in the aftermath of witnessing the birth of a legend. The white Luna had emerged, the Alpha had acknowledged her, and their story, the story of power, dominance, and a bond centuries in the making, had only just begun. Part 4, the first challenge. The hall slowly emptied, the echoes of the white Luna's presence lingering in every stone corner. Miss Vale's pack members whispered among themselves, still shaken by the revelation. Some approached Aria cautiously, bowing as they offered respect. Others lingered in awe, afraid to make a wrong move around the wolf who had just changed the fate of the pack. Kale stayed by her side, his dark eyes never leaving her. The tension between them was electric, his wolf's growl matching the pulse of her heartbeat. For the first time, Kale felt powerless in the face of someone who was supposed to be under his authority. Aria's silver eyes swept over the hall, calm yet commanding. She could feel the whispers, the gazes, and the curiosity directed at her. Yet what concerned her most was not the pack, it was him. Alpha Cal Rowan, the man who had dismissed her, judged her, and yet now stood captivated. You're unusual, Kale said, voice low, almost a growl. You should have been broken under their scrutiny. Yet here you stand, strong, fearless. Aria's ears twitched. I've survived centuries of being invisible, judged, forgotten. If anything, I'm stronger because no one expected me to fight back. Kyle's lips curved slightly, a dangerous smile forming. You fight back beautifully, and I like it. Before Aria could respond, a distant howl shattered the moment. It came from the far end of the forest beyond Miss Vale territory, wild, chaotic, and filled with malice. The pack stiffened. Even Kale's wolf growled in warning. Rogue wolves, Kale said immediately, his body tensing. They must have smelled the white Luna. They want to test her and us. Aria's fur bristled as her wolf stirred within. I can handle them, she said, silver eyes flashing. I am ready. Kyle stepped closer, his presence towering and commanding. You're not alone, he said, voice low and sharp. My pack fights with me and I fight with you. Aria felt the pull of his words, the promise in them. She had always walked alone, fought alone, survived alone. But now, for the first time, she felt the weight of a bond forming, a connection that was neither forced nor expected, but inevitable. The hunt begins. The pack moved as one, Cal leading, Aria beside him. The forest stretched endlessly, moonlight casting silver beams through the thick canopy. Shadows shifted unnaturally as rogue wolves emerged from the darkness. Aria shifted fully into her white Luna form. Her fur glowed under the moonlight, eyes blazing silver. Her muscles coiled, ready to strike. Cal shifted beside her, dark fur blending with the shadows, his wolf a perfect mirror of his strength and dominance. Together they were unstoppable, a storm of white and black, light and shadow. The rogue wolves lunged, teeth bared, eyes wild, but Aria moved with precision, speed, and raw power no one expected. Her growls resonated through the forest, commanding even the wild elements. Each strike was decisive, each movement calculated. Kale watched, impressed and infuriated at once. His wolf wanted to dominate, to protect, to claim her completely. But Kale also recognized her independence, her ability to fight without his interference. When the battle ended, the rogue wolves had retreated, leaving Mist Vale victorious. Every pack member looked at Aria with a mixture of awe and fear. Cal's gaze was different. It lingered on her, long and heavy. You're dangerous, he murmured, voice low enough only she could hear. Beautifully dangerous, and entirely mine. Aria's ears twitched, but she did not bow. I am mine first, she whispered, silver eyes flashing. And the pack is mine to protect, not yours to command. Kale's lips curved into a predatory smile. Then fight beside me willingly, and I will show you what it means to be truly powerful together. The moonlight reflected on her white fur as she stared at him, her heart beating faster, not from fear, but from the storm she felt inside him, a storm she both wanted to weather and feared. The bond had begun, the challenge had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again in Mistvale. Part 5, A Dangerous Attraction. The forest had quieted after the skirmish, but the air between Kale and Arya crackled with an unspoken tension. The pack moved silently behind them, still awed by the White Luna's display of power. Kale walked beside Arya, his gaze fixed on her. There was something primal in the way his wolf responded to hers, an instinctual pull he could neither ignore nor resist. "You fought well," he said quietly, voice low, almost a growl. "Better than any lunar I've ever known." Arya's silver eyes flicked to him, cool and calm. "I survive because I had to. I fight because I must. Not to impress you, Alpha." Kyle's lips curved into a dangerous half-smile. "Not to impress me." He stopped walking, stepping closer. "Then why does your presence make my wolf howl and my blood burn?" Arya's ears twitched, her muscles tense. But there was something else now, too. Something she didn't expect, the pull of his dominance, the raw power radiating from him, and the undeniable attraction simmering between them. "Kale," she whispered, warning and curiosity entwined. "This is dangerous. We cannot afford distractions." Kyle's eyes darkened, silver flecks glimmering in the moonlight. "Dangerous," he repeated. "Everything about you is dangerous, Arya Hale. Your power, your independence, your wolf. And yet I cannot turn away. I will not." The forest around them seemed to hush. Even the pack felt the tension, two powerful wolves standing side by side, drawn together by instinct, destiny, and desire. Arya's tail flicked, a sign of both wariness and acknowledgement. "You speak as if I am yours to claim," she said, eyes blazing. "But I am not. I am my own. And yet," her voice softened, a whisper carried by the wind, "I do not want to fight you." Kyle's jaw tightened, the predator in him awakening fully. He closed the distance between them, careful not to break her boundaries, yet impossible to ignore his presence. "Then stand with me," he said, voice low, dangerous, and commanding. "Not because I claim you, but because you choose me." Arya's breath hitched slightly, her wolf stirred, senses alert, instinct screaming both caution and longing. She had never been wanted like this, feared, respected, desired, all at once. Kale reached out, brushing a hand against her fur. It was a soft touch, gentle yet electric, and it sent a shiver down her spine. Her wolf growled softly, not in threat, but in acknowledgement. The connection between them was undeniable, a spark that neither could ignore. Suddenly, a howl echoed from the distance, this time not rogue wolves, but something more sinister, a warning, a challenge. Arya's fur bristled, silver eyes narrowing. Kale mirrored her tension, his hand lingering near hers. "Whatever comes next," he whispered, "we'll face it together. No one harms my Luna while I draw breath." Arya's gaze softened fractionally, a silent acknowledgement of the bond forming between them. Not yet love, but the beginning of something far stronger, trust, attraction, and the fire of destiny. The night sky stretched endlessly above them, the moonlight bathing the pair in silver light, two wolves faded, powerful and dangerous, standing side by side against the world. And for the first time, Arya Hale allowed herself a sliver of something she had never felt before, not fear, not doubt, but anticipation of the bond forming between the Alpha and the White Luna, and the storm of passion, danger, and power that would follow. Part 6, Secrets and Shadows. The forest around Mistvale was quiet, almost too quiet, as if it too held its breath in the presence of the White Luna. Kale and Arya moved through the trees, the pack following silently, alert to every sound, every shadow. The air between Kale and Arya was charged. Neither spoke much, but every glance, every subtle movement carried meaning. Kyle's wolf prowled beside hers, attuned to her, protective and possessive, though Arya's independence remained intact. It was a delicate balance of power and trust, and both were learning to navigate it. Scene 1, A Moment Alone. Night deepened, moonlight spilling through the canopy. Kale stopped beside a small clearing. His gaze found Arya immediately. "You fight harder than anyone I've ever seen," he said, voice low, rough with emotion. "But there's more to you, isn't there?" Arya's ears flicked, sensing his wolf stirring. "I am many things," she replied softly. "But I am not yours to unravel." Kyle's lips curved slightly, predatory yet gentle. "Not yet," he admitted. "But every layer you reveal only draws me closer." Arya's heart raced, the pull between them undeniable. For the first time, she let her guard drop slightly, allowing him near, not as Alpha, not as predator, but as something more intimate. Kyle's hand brushed against hers, tentative at first, then firmer. Electricity surged through her, and her wolf stirred in agreement, growling softly in pleasure and anticipation. "Do not mistake this," she whispered. "I trust you partially, that is all." Kyle's eyes darkened, a mix of amusement, desire, and something fiercer. "Partial trust is enough for now," he said, leaning just slightly closer, careful testing. "And one day I will earn the rest." Scene 2, The Threat Revealed. Suddenly, a rustle in the trees alerted them. Kale's wolf growled low in his chest. "Something's coming," he whispered, eyes scanning the shadows. From the darkness emerged a lone figure, cloaked in black. The pack tensed, recognizing the insignia of a rival faction. "I've come for the White Luna," the figure said, voice cold, cruel. "You do not belong in Mistvale." Arya stepped forward, fur bristling, eyes glowing silver. "You are trespassing. Leave now or face the consequences." The figure smirked. "Consequences?" I doubt the Alpha and his Luna can stop me, Cal growled, stepping protectively in front of her. You underestimate her and you underestimate me, he said. Aria's eyes met his, a silent exchange of trust and understanding. They were a team now, Alpha and Luna fated, powerful, unstoppable. Together they shifted fully into their wolf forms, side by side, prepared to defend the pack. Scene 3, the battle begins. The rival lunged, fast and vicious, but Aria was faster. Her claws and fangs moved in perfect synchronization with Kale's strikes. Every blow, every leap, every dodge was poetry in motion, grace, strength, and raw power combined. Kyle's voice echoed through the clearing. Low and commanding, together? Now. Aria lunged, teeth bared, silver eyes blazing, striking with precision. Kale followed, powerful and lethal, protecting her flank. The rival faltered, realizing too late that they were facing two forces perfectly matched. Within moments, the threat was neutralized, leaving the rival retreating into the shadows, defeated and terrified. The pack cheered silently, awe and relief filling the clearing. Kale and Aria shifted back to their human forms, standing close, breaths heavy, eyes locked. Scene 4, the first spark. Cal's gaze lingered on her, dark, intense, and unyielding. You are mine, he said softly, voice a growl that vibrated in her chest. Not because I claim you, but because the world will see what is already true. Aria's heart raced. Her wolf stirred in agreement, yet she held herself steady, defiant. I am not yours fully, she whispered, but I will fight beside you always. Kyle's lips brushed a strand of hair from her face, tender and dangerous. I will wait, he said, for as long as it takes for you to understand that your place is by my side. The forest seemed to hold its breath, the moonlight illuminating their faces. Two fated wolves, Alpha and Luna, bound by destiny, power, and a dangerous, growing attraction. And for the first time, Aria allowed herself a small thought she had never dared before. Maybe, just maybe, she wanted him as much as he wanted her. Part 7, her true legacy. The first light of dawn filtered through the mist-veiled trees, casting silver streaks across the forest floor. Kale and Aria stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking the valley, the pack moving quietly behind them. The air was still, heavy with the aftermath of last night's confrontation and the lingering tension between them. Kale's gaze never left Aria. Every breath she took, every movement she made, drew him closer, not just as Alpha, but as something far more personal. You're different from anyone I've ever met, he said softly, voice a mix of awe and desire, stronger, wiser, fiercer, and yet there's a light in you I cannot touch yet. Aria's silver eyes met his unwavering. My power, my wolf, it is only part of who I am, she replied. Something ancient flows in my veins. Something my mother warned me about. I was born for more than survival and for more than hiding. Kale stepped closer, lowering his voice. Tell me. I want to know everything. I will not betray your trust, Aria. Not now. Not ever. Aria hesitated for a moment, then took a deep breath. My lineage, it is not ordinary. I am the last of the White Luna bloodline, descended from a line of Lunas who once guided kings and controlled powers far beyond what even the Alpha can wield. The pack may see me as new, as untested, but my heritage is older than Mistvale itself. Cal's eyes widened slightly, awe mingling with desire. No wonder your power, your presence, it shook the pack tonight. You're not just a Luna, you are a force the world has not seen in centuries. Aria's gaze softened, vulnerability breaking through her usual steel. And yet I am afraid. I've hidden for so long, and now the world knows. Cal reached out, brushing a strand of her hair back from her face. Fear has no place between us, he said, voice low and commanding. You will not face this alone. I am yours as you are mine. We fight together, we live together, and I will protect you always. Her wolf stirred in agreement, trembling at the promise of his devotion. Aria's heart raced, not from fear, but from the storm of emotion she had never allowed herself to feel. Scene 2, a moment of trust. Kyle's hand lingered at her cheek, thumb brushing lightly across her skin. You trust me? He asked, the question barely a whisper. Aria swallowed, silver eyes meeting his, filled with both defiance and a growing affection. I trust you partially, she admitted, a small smile playing at the corner of her lips. More than anyone else, maybe more than I trust myself. Kyle's lips curved into a dangerous, predatory smile. Partial trust is a start, and I will earn the rest. One day you will give me all of it. The tension between them thickened, unspoken yet palpable. Their wolves circled, instincts intertwined, mirroring the pull between human and beast. Kale leaned closer, his forehead almost touching hers. Your legacy, your power, your heart, all of it belongs to me as much as I belong to you, he whispered, voice husky with desire. Aria's wolf growled softly, a mixture of warning and longing. I am not yours to take, she breathed, but her voice trembled with anticipation. Not yet. Kyle's lips brushed against hers, light and teasing, a promise of what was to come. Their connection sparked like lightning, hearts pounding in tandem, their fates entwined in that single electric moment. The pack watched silently, the dawn casting a silver glow over the two fated wolves standing side by side. Miss Vale had never witnessed such power, such destiny, such dangerous attraction. And for Aria, for the first time in her life, she felt something she had never allowed herself to feel, safety, belonging, and the stirrings of a passion she could no longer deny.